Before we get to the last part of the segment, we did want to show this poll real quick because we had a poll question of the week, and it was I've been seeing a lot of people critiquing Frank Vogel. If you're in the dumb Facebook Laker groups like I am, you see some of them going like, fire Frank Vogel. So I was like, okay, wait, I need to clear this up. Like, what is the true opinion? And out of 192 votes that we got, is Frank Vogel in the hot seat? 7% of the 192 votes said yes. 33% said no, not yet. And then 60% said he won a championship. He won a chip, so no.
It's kind of good to see because it means that people are actually paying attention and they're realizing certain things like, injuries are affecting it. Kind of like the Dodgers. Like, like for example, like the Dodgers, every time like we're in a slump, Dodgers in a slump right now, they're like, oh, fire Dave Roberts. But it's like, what's not his fault? Like a lot of guys are on the DL right now. Same thing with the Lakers. It's like your top two stars that got us the championship last year were hurt for most of the season. What do you expect? Like, It's not the coach. If it's Luke Walton, it's definitely the coach. But it's not. So I kind of feel it's great that we've seen some people like take note of that before they open their mouth and go, "Oh, fire!" Because it was just the automatic response. Oh, it's the coach, fire him. But now it's not.
I feel as if those people that say fire have gone through many relationships or gone through many divorces, and they just want people to hurt just like them.
Probably. But usually those people are miserable, or they're Clipper fans. They don't want to see us happy.
But no, to that point, like I'm glad you brought up Dave Roberts because, again, I work at AM 570.
Yeah.
And it's so ironic how, like, I'll be listening to David Vassay take phone calls, and some of the people are like, oh, I can't believe Dave Roberts did this. He's like a T-ball coach, making these decisions. And then, like, Dave Vassay, like, he interrupted him, and it was like, he just won a World Series.
I know.
he just won a World Series. Like, leave him alone.
Like, I used to criticize Dave Roberts a lot because of his decision-making. And the reason why we won the World Series is because he didn't make a decision. So he just left it. He let it be for the first time, and it finally won. So it's like he knows what he's doing. Well, I guess he kind of knows what could rely on. I guess like with Frank Vogel, his thing is just kind of like different lineups and like what works, what doesn't. So he's like me, where it's like, let's see what sticks on the wall. We'll go from there, kind of thing. I feel.
Yeah.
So with Frank Vogel, it's like we have the talent. It's just finding the right combination. Also, if you learn from last year, he waits to the playoffs to really like, okay, this is the death lineup. This is what we're gonna do with this. So it's regular season, guys. Like you got to relax sometimes.
I agree thoroughly with that because a lot of people, Pete Mesa, who follows us. He also is complaining, like, why did Vogel switch this out? I'm like, it's because of rotations. I don't want to say it like it's rotations. Like with him, he's just like got his own thing. He has the minutes in his head. He knows how he's going to play it. This is literally chess for Frank Vogel.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Kobe said it. You always go back to Kobe. He plays chess, not checkers. Everybody on the internet wants to play checkers, but this is chess. We have what 7 games left now. So these, I think 8. So now these games are going to be super important. I think we'll win the next. Maybe if it's 8, I would like to think the next.
It might be
6.
7. My bad.
I think last night was 8.
I forgot it was back to back.
Yeah. I think last night was 8.
There's 9 games in May, so that means they already took away 2. My bad.
So it is 6 then.
7.
7. Okay. So with these 7 games, I think we can win at least 5 or 6. As long as they kind of figure it out and they kind of go. I mean, that momentum from this last game, I think, will kind of carry us to this next one. We play tomorrow, right? Or I know we play not tomorrow or the day. I think it's
on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so. But
no, Thursday they play against the Clippers.
That's what it was. Oh, that's right. Oof. Okay, well maybe that I don't know. I do not know what that's going to be like, but they can have the regular season wins. We need the post, or the playoff season wins. But
I didn't want to spend so much time because I wanted to have this part for you to share.
Yeah.
So of course, last week we found out about the news of a passing of a comic, a very dear friend to Mark.
Yeah.
I've performed on the same stage as him, but can you please elaborate on the impact of your friendship with Ryan D?
Yeah, Ryan D, man. We go back 6-7 years maybe. I met him. It was a coincidence. His girlfriend at the time, we were coworkers, and she mentioned, hey, my boyfriend's a comedian. Oh, yeah? What's his name? He goes, oh, his name is Ryan. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll see him. And then I happened to meet him. I was like, hey, you're Ryan D, right? Oh, yeah, I know your girlfriend. We just hit it off. And he was just a cool dude from the get-go. Very just, like, wanted to hang out. Always wants to hang out. Good time. Very loving. And one of those dudes who just brought good energy. And we just got to know each other over the years. And then, he's a big metalhead like me. We hung out the last couple of Slayer concerts. That's why I'm wearing my Slayer shirt for him today. Another LA band, by the way. Yeah, man. It was So yeah, this last Friday, he unfortunately passed away into sleep, and it's one of those things where it's just kind of a shocking thing because I've been hanging out with him more recently because quarantine's kind of like lifting, and he started working at this bar not too far from me, and we started hanging out, and it was one of those things where we started planning. Hey, comedy's almost coming back. We're going to produce some shows again, and we already had a couple names picked out. We started writing material together, so I had this like bond with him like within this last couple of months. After a year of not seeing him because of quarantine, and I was one of the first comics that said, hey, let's hang out again. It's like, dude, I've been dying to hang out with somebody. Like we've all have, Luckily, I have you. I get to see you weekly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, and he was just one of those dudes you just wanted to bring around. He performed on my comedy special. He was one of the comics that I had open up for me. And we should play. Yeah, I think we could kind of play it. Well, let me see. No, I think he cusses a lot during his set. But let's say maybe we could play it next time or whatever. But yeah, man, it just sucks. It's very unfortunate. He had just so much more to give. They always say that, but with him, he had a lot of potential and so much more, and it just sucks. I just sad. Just completely sad, gutted. Luckily, I was with some other comedians at the time when I found out, so I was in good company. But it's just still kind of like getting used to. Like, we'd send each other memes, like me and you send, or just like, just BS all day. And he was one of those guys. And it just, he went the way how my sister went as well. My sister passed in her sleep too. So it was one of those things where it hasn't even been 6 months yet, or it's just been 6 months. So, it's one of those things where it's like, it just sucked for me because I was just like, well, here we go again. But I'm kind of like still, healing from my sister's passing. So I was just like, all right, well, I don't want to go through all that again. And I was okay. Like for those first couple of days, I was just really quiet and sad. But now it's just like, I just want to celebrate his life because he deserves it. And everyone deserves to at least hear his comedy. Funny guy. So I really hope we do him well. And we're going to put a tribute show to him coming soon, as soon as everything opens up. But yeah, I missed the hell out of him. He was a great dude. You performed with a couple of times. You ever hang out with him?
Yeah. I remember one time he asked me to do his show, Monrovia.
Oh, okay.
Off Route 66, or like not Route 66. It's Pacific like Huntington.
Plate. Yeah, Pacific Plate.
Yeah. So like that time, like my friend Carlos Escobar came by, and I was just like, hey, like just get my stage time to Carlos, and then like he was like, I have to have you on soon. Like, I'm sorry, man. And so the thing about Ryan is he's always so caring.
Yeah.
Like he'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Like he already validated for me, like, so he was like, hey, I'll give you stage time whenever. And like that night I was like, I'll give it to Carlos. And so like he was like, all right, like if you vouch for him. And then like he was like, okay, that's cool. And then he still was like, I'll get you back. And then I forgot, like maybe it was the pandemic that happened, but like I never did get up on stage, no big deal. But that was the thing. Like you watched his other podcast, I forget the name of it.
It was Hit the Mics.
Was it Hit the Mics? It was like a Red Devil School. I know he dated out of Santa Bernardino for a while.
Yeah, the one in Highland. Yeah, it was Hit the Mics. I think it was Hit the Mics. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that one, he, you saw like the range of guests that he had.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we try to do that, but with sports in like the realm and the umbrella of like Lakers. Like he did it with bands, he did it with friends, he did it with like comics, he did it with whoever. And so, obviously, as guest interview, that sounded sexual. It wasn't meant to be. But anyways, like Ryan was like someone that was so caring and open armed with people, and that's what I've always like known him for.
Yeah, and same thing that everyone's saying. It's like, he's one of those dudes where it's like late at night, you could just hit him up and he'd be like, yeah, what's up, I'm down to kick it. Like he's always like down for everything, down for company, and just and like that's the first thing that always comes to mind. He was just loving, and he was just good energy. He was a good dude, a good friend. We always talked. Like the first time I saw him after quarantine, a couple months ago. We hugged, and I literally the first thing I told him was like, man, we've been through a rough couple of years, haven't we? And we just like we laughed, and we just like kept hugging like even harder. Because, he went through a breakup, he was looking for a place to stay. His dog died. So many things. And with me and, my stuff. And we were just kind of like, okay, like, let's get back on track. Like, because he's like, dude, like, no one wants to hang out. Everyone's scared. I was like, I'm not. Let's do it. Like, I need this. Like, I need this as much as you do. Let's do this. If even nobody else wants to, like, let's do it. And that's why I was so excited about this. And so that's why I was like, if anything, his passing was just like, gutted, man. I was just completely gutted, but he's gonna, like I said, we'll celebrate his name. And definitely make sure his spirit lives throughout the LA comedy. We've lost a lot of comedians over the years, but with him, definitely have a place in my heart for him because he was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So.
I remember I was doing shows with him at Flappers, and I was the Bringer show producer because I think I was like just like a year ahead of him, and I already knew like the Ponzi scheme that is the Bringer show.
Of course.
So I was like, all right, I'm not getting sucked into this. Let me be the producer of a show
Yeah.
to get the stage time, right? And I did it with Michael Alberici. So Michael Alberici brings Ryan D on.
Yeah.
And Ryan D, as a Bringer comic, in his first year, crushes.
Yeah.
I see Big J Hollingsworth talking to him. They become best friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy's farther ahead in the game than I. Ryan D was just like that type of guy where he got it too. He got it quick. I got the production side of it, but he got the comedic skills of it first.
Yeah, I saw a lot of reason why we bonded too is because I saw a lot of me and him, and we had so many same tastes in music and comedy, and one of the last jokes we wrote was an observation about 2020 and stuff, because we noticed it's this is a joke that we wrote, and it's so we both have a lot of friends that are black and Asian. So we noticed, with the rise of, Asian violence and stuff. And I was like, we're like, hey, is it just me or is, with, Stop Asian Hate, with that campaign, does it kind of feel like, the Asian kids are copying the black kids' homework for once, So, and it was we just laughed. We're like, hey, it's true. And we're just kind of it sparked something. We're just kind of okay, we're going to we could do this. We could totally collaborate. Because his sense of humor was he was just like us, Yeah. And he was one of the guys that I really wanted to come to be a guest too. We just didn't get a chance, and now we won't. But there's a lot of memories, a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. One of my favorite, fondest memories before we go. One of the last times we went to go see Slayer. We always got.
Hold on, before you start this story, real quick, because we got an image. GoFundMe, real quick.
Yes.
You put this up today. You shared the link on your Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're the administrator or not.
But
no. This was as of 4:15 p.m. We started the show at 6 p.m. So about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
They're already about to reach the cost for the funeral.
Crazy. I mean, and that's it goes without saying. It's that's the kind of love that he had, and everyone has good things to say about him because he was a good person. That's bottom line. End of the day, he was just a really good person. There was times that we caused mischief, which was always fun. Which going to this story real quick, we saw Slayer. I'm really close with his family too. I always hung out with him and his family because they were so tight. They were such a tight, loving family, all metalheads, even his mom. Really good friends with his mom. And we went to go see Slayer. I had pit tickets, and so I was down in the pit. They were out in the stands, and I was like, dude, if you can make it to the pit, find a way. and so I think during the middle of the show, I was in the pit, headbanging and stuff. All of a sudden I see a shirtless Ryan D going, I made it in the pit, yeah. And then whoa, and then security's racing out, chasing after him, and then they kicked him out. And then he found his way back in somehow. It was one of those things where it's it's something that I would have done, which I have done plenty of times. I've been escorted out of so many shows because I was too drunk. But it was just that's the kind of fun that we would have. Technically the last show that we attended was a virtual show. We saw Pantera, Phil Anselmo from Pantera. And we just streamed it in his living room, and we're moshing and stuff. And I told him, dude, this is so much fun. And that was it. That was literally our last show together. And so I'm kind of glad, we had that much fun. During everything that's going on, at least there's that silver lining of, we were able to do that one more time. But it was unexpected. But I'm gonna miss the hell out of you, man. Sending nothing but love to you and your family for sure.